have a right to ensure you do something to fix that post-haste.
You know you're supposed to do your work. You know that I just like to give love, so don't force me to give you a 0.
Only course that I have ever gotten a C+ for in my entire undergrad program.
That comment is going to be to your detriment, and it was so.
We are all intimidated sometimes, and we're just dying for the teachers just to say the right thing.
I'd just like to take this opportunity to welcome all of us to the 5th in a series of forums of this nature, and it is coined Forum 2012. Now, the Communication Studies Department has been doing a wonderful job in terms of developing students for the commercial world and for not just for corporate Jamaica, but for the world at large. This evening, we will be looking at a topic, the right thing to say, and the topic is extended, communicating in the student-lecturer relationship. We have a very astute panel with us this evening, and I'm just going to take a few minutes or a few seconds just to introduce them to you. To my far right, the lady in, I'm a little bit not so good with colors. I'm going to call it lilac for the time being. I thought it was pink, and at one time I thought it was purple. But thank you very much, lilac. Miss Ralna Simmons, yes, a lecturer in the Comp Studies Department, also a graduate student and a past student of this institution. Can we have a round of applause for her? Simmons. The next lady in red, and I'm sure I have that color right, no stranger, the voice is no stranger to us at Northern Caribbean University. I remember the first time I heard that name, I actually heard it on NCU radio. She's also a lecturer in the Comp Studies Department, and I would like to introduce Miss Tamika Wilson. The only male on the panel hails from the parish of Hanover. He has made a name for himself at Northern Caribbean University. He was, for one entire year, the parliamentarian for the Great Excelsior Club at Cedar Hall, and he did a marvelous job there. And this year, he has opted to serve in the student government body, United Student Movement. He is now the vice president for academic administration. Yeah. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. Javon Minto. Now, you know, when we think about the right thing to say, it sounds like a very complex issue. This morning, I got a call from one of our students, Melissa Davis. Not true. I called her this morning. And she said to me, she has an affectionate name for me. She said, Uncle Sefton, I'm glad you called, you know, because many people don't call me. And I said, Melissa, don't worry. The reason people don't call you might be, in your situation, they might not know what is the right thing to say. So don't feel like they are abandoning you. They just don't know what is the right thing to say. So this term, the right thing to say, has many sides to it. This evening, we will be looking at some of the sides of the right things to say. And I'm going to ask the panelists at this time, just take 3 minutes, just to give their own overview on what do you think of the topic, the right thing to say, as it relates to communicating in the student lecture department. And I will start with Ms. Simmons.
The right thing to say. Firstly, it's a very important question if it were ever one, and if it's a statement, it is equally very important, the right thing to say. On too many occasions, we don't say the right thing. So obviously our concern this afternoon is to be informed. How do you decide? How do you determine what is the right thing to say. I think, for starters, we want to be clear what is the context in which this right thing is supposed to be said. Who are the participants in the communication process? And what is the desired outcome that you hope to achieve from the endeavor? The Bible tells us that words fitly spoken are like apples of gold in pitchers of silver. We also hear that life and death resides in the power of the tongue. So I guess the concern that we have more often than not, always basically, is to be guarded as to saying the right thing at the right time. In direct relation, or with direct relation to the student-teacher relationship, as teacher, I see myself as guide, instructor, confidant, friend sometimes, role model, maybe. And I also see myself as someone who can learn from those persons who it is in my charge to teach. So I have to ask myself, before I can determine what is the right thing to say, what is the objective that I should be meeting out of this engagement? What is the student requiring of me at this time? And if it is that I am woefully lacking, then I really should not say anything. I should offer for the conversation or the dialogue, whatever it is, to take place at a more appropriate time when I will be able to fulfill this responsibility.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Simmons. I'm going to go to Ms. Wilson.
Jamaica, in my opinion, is an extremely formal society. Specifically to the helping professions, we tend to refer to a medical doctor as doctor until the day they die, even after they retire. And though teachers are not considered to be officially part of the helping professions, I do think also we extend this courtesy to teachers. So you'll hear us referring to teachers as Miss and Sir until even after they die. Regardless of where you see them, you'll say Miss, you'll say Sir. I know for me, because that is just how we are in Jamaica, very formal. And it is my belief that given the esteem we place on teachers, that there are certain boundaries that are established within that confines of teacher-student relationship. You won't be able to find them on paper. They're just rules that developed over time. And as such, given that context, the formal nature of Jamaica, and the high esteem in which we approach our teachers, I do believe that there is a right and a wrong thing to say, regardless of where the situation is taking place.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wilson. Mr. Minto?
All right, both ladies spoke from a teacher's perspective, so I guess I'll have to speak from a student's perspective. I find it very important that a teacher knows what's the right thing to say in any particular situation where they are caught up with a student. For example, sometimes you're in the classroom and I'm not sure if the teacher realized, but you're teaching a particular lesson and the students are all there and we are all intimidated sometimes and we're just dying for the teachers just to say the right thing, just to break that moment of tension. Particular scenario, if we are not learning, if we are not understanding, and nobody wants to raise their hand, and the teacher is there, do you get it? And you get a few persons just, yeah. We are just dying for the teacher to say something, just to say the right thing. Even don't ask, students, you get it? Just say the right thing, even to repeat the course content that was imparted earlier. So the right thing to say is very important in a teacher-student relationship.